There it is. That feels better and better. Guys, in today's video, I want to give you a progress report on my one-handed backhand. For you guys that don't know, in the year 2023, I'm doing something called the Project One-Hander. I have hit our two-handed backhand for 40 years. So there's a lot of muscle memory stored in this action. And what I'm trying to do in this year, I'm trying to improve my one-handed backhand. And I'm gonna record myself doing so and take you guys along for the ride. And this series has already started. I made a video that you can check out. I'm gonna link it in the description. I actually played a set and a lot of you guys were wondering, Nick, why would you play a set when your one-handed backhand is not improved yet? Isn't it too early? Yes, that is true. When you're changing your technique, it's probably good to lay off matches so you can build the correct muscle memory, but I just wanted to play this set and see what my level is with my one-hander. And I'm glad I did play those couple of sets because the level on my one-handed backhand is not where it needs to be by any means. And in today's video, I also want to clear up a few more things that you guys were wondering about. So I'm definitely not switching to a one-handed backhand. The two-handed backhand is one of my favorite shots. It was always my bread and butter. It is maybe not my most powerful shot. That would be my serve. And I do think my forehand is faster than my two-handed backhand. But my two-handed backhand was always steady. It would always go in. I would make very few mistakes with it and I have very clean technique. So no, I love my two-handed backhand and I'm not switching. So this project is basically an experiment to see whether you can improve a shot after developing so much muscle memory, doing things a different way. Because like I said, guys, it's been 40 years of hitting a two-handed backhand. And I can see the difficulty of this muscle memory when I hit my one-hander. I'm gonna tell you what my biggest challenges are right now. I have a very hard time with the grip. I'm not gonna lie, because my continental grip on my right hand for my two-handed backhand is causing problems because I'm so uncomfortable going Eastern backhand, and I really have to keep reminding myself, keep forcing myself. It just feels really uncomfortable for me to hold the racket like this. Now you're probably thinking, Nick, why not just hit the one-handed backhand with a continental grip? I do think it's a suboptimal grip for a one-hander. It's possible to hit the one-handed backhand this way, but what I do find is that one of my other issues, which is the finish, where my racket stays towards the outside as I'm finishing, so a very flat swing path, a horizontal swing path, is further ingrained with this continental grip. So in order for me to develop topspin on my one-hander, this grip surely helps. Not only is my thumb more underneath the racket, making the vertical swing path easier, but also holding the racket with an Eastern backhand grip makes going backwards a lot easier than it does with a continental grip. Naturally, when we hold the racket like this, it's more likely to stay on this side. It just has to do with the position of the wrist. So as I'm turning my hand over this way, it's going to be a lot easier to flip that racket and point it towards the back fence. Which brings me to my number one problem, which is my finish. When I hit my one-handed backhand, my racket has a tendency to not only stay on this side, but even if I force myself to go further back, it stops somewhere here. And I would really like the racket to go further back. This is a super important element, and you see the greatest one-handed backhands in history have this finish where the butt cap is pointing forward and the tip of the racket is pointing towards the back fence. This is what I would like to achieve on my one-handed backhand, and I'm having a very difficult time in doing so. But here's the good news. I can do it, especially when I hit the ball a little bit slower. So here's the thing with muscle memory. When you hit the ball at max speed, you're more likely going to resort to muscle memory, or in other words, make the stroke more intuitive. Now, my intuition on the one-handed backhand is based on wrong fundamentals. This is a very important thing for you guys to understand. You have to realize that the intuitive tennis methodology is built on the correct fundamentals being in place so that intuitive elements can take care of themselves. If you have the wrong fundamentals, then you will also have wrong intuitive elements on your strokes. So it's very important for me to build the correct fundamentals, starting with the grip, starting with the preparation phase, which is also suboptimal at times, where I go kind of through the bottom here, my hand really doesn't go up. So I don't have much of a racket drop, so I'm trying to keep my hand a little bit higher and then dropping the racket into the slot here. But the vast majority of problems are shortly after contact. And again, going back to my previous point, when I hit the ball slower, I am more in control of what happens shortly after contact. It's still going to be tough to control that part of the stroke. The racket is still moving fast, but I have to force myself to hit the ball a little bit softer and then gradually increase the pace. That's how you build the correct fundamentals. If you would just go out there and blast the ball and hit it fast, it's very likely not going to result in any changes. But guys, the good news is that I can finish back here. There are no physical limitations that I thought that I had. So I was very much under the impression that my shoulder is locked back here, that I can't go back very far. I thought this was a physical limitation, but the good news is that after me hitting one-handed backhands for more than a month now, I can comfortably go back here without any pain. So my shoulder is free, in other words. So it's just a matter of me forcing this movement on every single backhand so that it eventually becomes muscle memory. So guys, I'm going to keep training hard on my one-handed backhand. Yes, don't be surprised if you see me still hitting a two-handed backhand. I do plan to play some high-level matches where there's no way for me to use a one-handed backhand. I'm going to get destroyed. So if you see me hitting a two-handed backhand, it doesn't mean that the project one-handed backhand is over. I'm going to continue to work on my one-hander throughout this year. I'm going to keep you guys updated, and it's going to be really interesting to see the before and after at the end of the year.